Let me tell you something. Life isn't all sunshine and roses. It's a journey full of twists and turns, highs and lows, joy and pain. But here's the thing. Pain is not the end of your story. It's just a chapter. You have to learn to embrace the hurt, because that's where growth begins. When life knocks you down, the first thing you have to do is face the pain head on. Stop pretending it doesn't hurt. Stop smiling through gritted teeth if that smile isn't real. There's no shame in admitting that you're struggling. Pain is a universal experience. We all go through it, but the strongest people are those who confront it. You can't heal what you refuse to acknowledge. Pushing the hurt to the side or burying it deep down doesn't make it disappear. It just piles up until it overwhelms you. Face it now while you still have the strength to work through it. There's power in saying, this is hard and I'm not okay right now, but I will be. Recognizing your pain is not a sign of weakness. It's a step toward healing. You have to let yourself feel, even if it's uncomfortable. Growth comes from sitting with that discomfort, from understanding why it hurts and where it's coming from. That's where you begin to regain control. Too many people mask their pain with distractions, work, relationships, or even substances, but those things only delay the inevitable. The pain doesn't leave, it just waits for you. The sooner you face it, the sooner you can move forward. Be brave enough to sit with your emotions instead of running from them. Talk to yourself like you would a close friend. If someone you love was going through what you're going through, you tell them it's okay to feel hurt. You tell them to cry, to scream, to let it out. So why not offer yourself that same grace? You deserve it. There's no timetable for pain. Some days it'll feel like you're moving forward. Other days, it'll feel like you're back at square one. That's normal. Healing is not linear. It's not something you can rush. Permit yourself to take it one day at a time. Pain is part of the human experience. It's proof that you're alive, that you care deeply, that you're invested in something or someone. So instead of seeing it as the enemy, see it as a part of life's journey. Acknowledge it, accept it, and let it lead you to the next chapter. Pain has a way of showing up uninvited, but it's never without a lesson. Every challenge, heartbreak, and setback carries a message meant to help you grow. But you have to be willing to listen. Ignoring the pain or wishing it away robs you of the wisdom it's trying to offer. When you're in the middle of the storm, it's hard to see the purpose. All you can focus on is how uncomfortable, unfair, unbearable it feels. But hindsight has a way of revealing the truth. Pain often pushes you out of your comfort zone and into a space where you have no choice but to grow. Think about the times in your life when you faced your greatest struggles. What did you learn? Maybe you learned how strong you are. Maybe you discovered who your true friends are. Or perhaps it forced you to take a new path, one that ended up being better for you in the long run. Pain is a harsh but effective teacher. Sometimes pain teaches you about yourself, your limits, your priorities, your resilience. It shows you what you're capable of enduring and what truly matters to you. It has a way of stripping away the distractions and bringing your focus back to what's real and important. Pain also teaches you empathy. When you've been hurt, you're more likely to understand the hurt of others. It softens you, makes you more compassionate, and helps you connect with people on a deeper level. That's a gift, even if it doesn't feel like one at the time. The lessons pain offers don't always come immediately. Sometimes it takes weeks, months, or even years to fully understand why something happened the way it did. But trust that every painful experience is shaping you into the person you're meant to become. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Start asking, what can I learn from this? That simple shift in perspective can change everything. It turns pain from something that breaks you into something that builds you. When life hurts, The worst thing you can do is stop moving. Pain has a way of paralyzing you, making you feel like staying still is the safer option. But staying still only keeps you in the hurt longer. Movement, even the smallest step, is how you start to climb out of the darkness. You don't have to figure it all out at once. It's not about having all the answers, it's about doing the next right thing. Maybe that's getting out of bed. Maybe it's making that phone call or showing up to work, even when you don't feel like it. Progress is progress, no matter how small it looks. Momentum is powerful. Once you take one step, the next one becomes easier. Pain thrives in stagnation, but action weakens its grip. Every step forward, no matter how shaky, chips away at the hold pain has on your life. Keep moving, even if it's slow, even if it's messy. Think of life like a river. If you stand still, you'll get stuck in the current, pulled under by the weight of everything you're carrying. But if you start swimming, even if it's just a dog paddle, you'll start to move with the flow. The effort is worth it. Moving forward doesn't mean you won't feel pain along the way. You will. There will be moments when the hurt feels overwhelming and when it feels easier to stop. But remind yourself that every step you take is one step closer to relief, to healing, to freedom. Don't underestimate the power of small victories. Cleaning your house, going for a walk, journaling your thoughts, these may seem insignificant, but they're not. They're signs of life, signs that you're still fighting, still pushing forward. Celebrate them. The key is consistency. One step a day, one decision to try, one act of courage. Over time, these small actions will add up, and before you know it, you'll look back and realize how far you've come. Forward is the only direction. Comparison is the thief of joy. When life hurts, it's tempting to look around and wonder why others seem to have it easier. But their journey isn't your journey. What they're showing on the outside doesn't reveal the battles they're facing inside. Social media makes it worse. You see someone's perfect vacation, their happy relationship, their big promotion, and you think, why can't my life be like that? But remember, people only show you the highlight reel. They don't show the sleepless nights, the tears, or the sacrifices behind the scenes. Your pain is valid, no matter what anyone else is going through. Just because someone else's struggles look different doesn't mean yours doesn't matter. Pain isn't a competition. You don't have to justify your hurt or compare it to anyone else's to make it real. Focus on your path. What's happening in someone else's life has no bearing on what's possible for you. Their success doesn't take away from yours, just like their struggles don't minimize what you're going through. Keep your eyes on your lane. The truth is, you don't know the full story. The person you envy might be carrying burdens you can't even imagine. And the person who seems to have it all together might be falling apart behind closed doors. Everyone has their pain, even if you can't see it. When you compare, you rob yourself of the energy you need to focus on your healing. Instead of looking outward, turn inward. Ask yourself, what do I need right now? What steps can I take to feel better, even if it's just a little? That's what matters. You're not in competition with anyone else. The only person you need to be better than is the person you were yesterday. So stop looking around, stop measuring your life against someone else's, and start pouring all that energy into yourself. When life hurts, faith becomes your anchor. It's easy to believe in better days when everything's well, but real faith is built in the valleys, not on the mountaintops. It's when you're at your lowest that you have to trust in something greater than yourself. Faith doesn't mean the pain will go away overnight. It means believing there's a purpose for your pain, even if you can't see it yet. It's about trusting that every tear, every heartbreak, every setback is part of a bigger plan that's working for your good. You don't have to have all the answers, and you don't need to know how everything will work out. That's not your job. Your job is to keep believing, to keep praying, to keep showing up, even when it feels like nothing's changing. Faith is about holding on where letting go seems easier. When you feel alone, remember that you're never truly alone. There's a strength within you, a divine presence guiding you even in the darkest moments. Lean into that strength. Talk to God, pour out your heart, and don't hold back. He hears you even in your silence. Faith is not about avoiding storms, it's about finding peace in the middle of them. It's knowing that the storm won't last forever and that the sun will shine again. And it's trusting that when it does, you'll come out stronger, wiser, and more prepared for what's next. Sometimes faith means surrender. It means letting go of the need to control everything and trusting that God's plan is better than your own. That surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means giving into a power greater than yourself. It's freeing, not limiting. Faith doesn't eliminate pain, but it gives you the strength to endure it. It gives you hope when everything feels hopeless, and it reminds you that this pain is not permanent. Keep the faith and let it carry you through. Pain has a way of exposing your strength. You might not feel strong while you're in the middle of it, but every time you choose to keep going, you're proving just how powerful you are. Strength isn't about avoiding struggle. It's about pushing through it, even when it feels impossible. Think back to moments when you thought you couldn't handle what life threw at you. You're still here, aren't you? That's proof of your resilience. You might have been bruised, you might have been broken, but you're still standing. That's strength, plain and simple. Struggles force you to dig deeper. They make you find resources within yourself that you didn't even know existed. Strength isn't always loud or obvious. Sometimes it's quiet persistence. It's waking up and trying again, even when you feel like giving up. Pain builds character. It strips away the superficial and reveals what you're truly made of. It's in the hardest moments that you discover your courage, your determination, and your ability to rise. These struggles aren't breaking you, they're building you into someone stronger. Strength doesn't mean you don't feel the hurt. It means you don't let the hurt define you. You feel it, you acknowledge it, and then you choose to keep moving forward. That choice, no matter how small it feels, is where your power lies. Every time you overcome a struggle, you're adding to your foundation. You're building a life that's unshakable because it's been tested. Those struggles are your proof that you can handle whatever comes next. They're not holding you back. They're setting you up for the next level. You don't always see your strength in the moment, but one day you'll look back and realize how far you've come. You'll see that every challenge, every tear, every sleepless night was shaping you into the person you were meant to be. When life hurts, the people around you can either lift you or drag you down. You need to be intentional about who you let into your circle. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table when you're going through it. Find people who pour into you, not drain you. These are the ones who show up when it's hard, who listen without judgment, and who remind you of your worth when you forget it yourself. They're the people who see your potential, even when you feel like giving up. Not everyone is equipped to handle your pain, and that's okay. Some people won't know what to say, and others might not have the emotional capacity to support you. That doesn't make them bad people, but it does mean you need to protect your energy and seek support elsewhere. Surround yourself with those who bring positivity into your life. When you're hurting, it's easy to get stuck in negativity, but being around people who uplift you can help shift your mindset. Their energy can inspire you to keep going, even on your darkest days. Pay attention to how people respond to your struggles. The ones who disappear when times get tough were never meant to stay. Let them go. Focus on the ones who stick around, the ones who make the effort to understand and be there for you. You don't need a huge circle. Quality always beats quantity. A few genuine people who truly care about your worth more than a crowd of acquaintances who only show up when it's convenient. Choose wisely And don't be afraid to distance yourself from those who don't align with your needs. Building a strong support system takes time, but it's one of the most important things you can do for yourself. These are the people who will remind you of your strength, encourage your growth, and walk with you through the pain. One of the hardest life lessons is realizing how little control you have. Pain often comes from trying to hold on to things you were never meant to control in the first place. Freedom comes when you learn to let go. You can't control how others treat you. You can't control the challenges that come your way or the setbacks that seem to appear out of nowhere. What you can control is how you respond. Your attitude, your perspective, and your choices are all within your power. Holding on to things you can't change only makes the pain worse. It's like carrying a heavy backpack full of rocks. The longer you hold on, the more it weighs you down. Letting go doesn't mean you're giving up. It means you're freeing yourself from unnecessary burdens. Life is unpredictable. Plans fall apart, relationships end, and opportunities disappear. But within that chaos lies a chance to grow. When you let go of what's not in your hands, you make room for new possibilities, new beginnings, and new hope. Letting go requires trust in yourself, trust in the process, and trust that something better is ahead. It's not always easy, and it often feels uncomfortable, but it's a necessary step toward peace. Release what's weighing you down, and you'll find that you can move forward more freely. Start small. Let go of the need to be perfect, the need to please everyone, or the need to have all the answers. These small acts of release can lead to a bigger sense of freedom. You don't have to carry it all. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or pretending it didn't happen. It means accepting the past for what it was, learning from it, and choosing not to let it dictate your future. You deserve to be free from what you can't control. Pain is one of life's greatest teachers. When it shows up, it's not just there to break you, it's there to teach you something about yourself, your choices, and the world around you. Every hurt carries a lesson if you're willing to listen and learn. The hard truth is that some lessons can only be learned through struggle. Comfort doesn't challenge you to grow. It's the tough moments, the ones where you're forced to face yourself, that shape you into the person you're meant to become. Pain forces you to confront what you might otherwise ignore. Ask yourself, what is this pain trying to teach me? Maybe it's teaching you patience. Maybe it's showing you the importance of setting boundaries. Maybe it's revealing what truly matters in your life. Pain has a way of stripping away the unnecessary and bringing clarity to what's essential. Learning from pain doesn't mean you have to be grateful for it in the moment. It's okay to be angry, frustrated, or overwhelmed. But once the emotions settle, reflect on what the experience taught you. Growth doesn't happen without reflection. When you view pain as a teacher, it stops feeling like a punishment. Instead, it becomes an opportunity. It becomes a chance to become wiser, stronger, and more resilient. The lessons you learn through pain will serve you in ways you can't even imagine yet. Sometimes the lesson is about appreciating what you already have. When something is taken away, it makes you realize how much it means to you. Other times, pain teaches you that you're stronger than you think and that you can survive and thrive despite the odds. The key is to remain open. Don't let the pain harden you or close you off to the world. Let it refine you, let it teach you, and let it guide you toward a better version of yourself. Pain is temporary, but the lessons it leaves behind can last a lifetime. Change is often accompanied by pain. It's hard to let go of what's familiar, even when it's not serving you anymore. But growth requires change, and sometimes the hurt is a sign that transformation is happening. The discomfort you feel is proof that you're moving forward. Resisting change only prolongs the pain. Life is constantly moving, shifting, and evolving. When you hold on too tightly to what was, you miss the beauty of what could be. Embracing change means trusting the process, even when it's messy and uncertain. Think about the times in your life when change led to something better. Maybe it didn't feel that way at first. Maybe it hurt to leave a relationship, lose a job, or move to a new city. But eventually you found that those changes brought new opportunities, new people, and new experiences. Change forces you out of your comfort zone, and that's where growth happens. It's not easy to step into the unknown, but it's often necessary. Staying the same might feel safe, but it also keeps you stuck. Embracing change opens the door to possibilities you never imagined. When you're in the middle of change, it's normal to feel lost or scared. But remind yourself that every ending is also a beginning. The pain of change is temporary, but the growth it brings can last forever. Trust that what's ahead is worth the discomfort. Change doesn't mean losing yourself. It means becoming more of who you were meant to be. It means shedding old layers, old habits, and old ways of thinking so you can step into your full potential. It's not about becoming someone new. It's about becoming more you. You don't have to have it all figured out. Change is a process, and it takes time. Be patient with yourself as you navigate the ups and downs. Trust that every step, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to where you're supposed to be. Gratitude might seem impossible when life hurts, but it's one of the most powerful tools for shifting your perspective. It doesn't mean ignoring the pain or pretending everything's fine. It means finding the small sparks of light in the darkness. Start with the basics. Did you wake up today? Did you have a roof over your head? Did you eat? These might seem like small things, but when life feels overwhelming, they're worth recognizing. Gratitude doesn't have to be grand. It just has to be genuine. Pain has a way of making you focus on what's wrong. Gratitude helps you remember what's right. It reminds you that even in hurt, there are still things to be thankful for. Gratitude doesn't erase the pain, but it does make it more bearable. Keeping a gratitude journal can help. Write down 3 things you're thankful for every day, no matter how small. Maybe it's a kind word from a friend, a beautiful sunset, or the fact that you made it through another day. These little moments add up. Gratitude shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance. Instead of focusing on what you've lost, you start to see what you still have. It doesn't mean you're ignoring your pain. It means you're choosing to see beyond it. Practicing gratitude doesn't mean you won't feel sadness, anger, or frustration. Those emotions are valid and need to be felt. But gratitude gives you a way to balance them, to remind yourself that even in the hurt, there's still hope. Gratitude is a daily practice. It's not something you do once and forget about. It's a habit, a mindset, and a way of living. The more you practice it, the more you'll see the good in your life, even when it feels like everything's falling apart. Faith is the anchor that holds you steady when life feels like a storm. It's believing in something greater than your pain, greater than your circumstance, and greater than what you can see right now. Faith doesn't always change your situation, but it can change you. When life hurts, it's easy to lose hope. You start to wonder if things will ever get better and if the struggle will ever end. That's when faith becomes most important. It's the quiet voice inside you that says, keep going. This isn't the end. Faith doesn't mean you won't feel doubt or fear. It means you choose to trust anyway. You trust that there's a purpose for your pain, even if you can't see it yet. You trust that every setback is setting you up for a comeback, and every delay is part of a divine design. Faith gives you the strength to endure. It's what keeps you moving when you're too tired to take another step. It reminds you that the pain is temporary, but the growth it brings is eternal. Faith is what turns obstacles into opportunities and wounds into wisdom. Sometimes faith requires you to surrender. It means letting go of your need to control everything and trusting that things will work out in their own time. It's about believing that there's a bigger plan at work, even if it doesn't make sense right now. Faith isn't passive. It's active. It's choosing to show up even when you're hurting. It's praying, hoping, and believing even when the odds seem stacked against you. Faith is the fuel that keeps you going, the light that guides you through the darkness. When you hold on to faith, you hold on to hope. You remind yourself that life is bigger than this moment, that your story isn't over, and that there's more waiting for you on the other side of the pain. Faith doesn't promise an easy journey, but it does promise a meaningful one. When life hurts, don't let the pain define you, let it refine you. You are stronger, wiser, and braver than you think. This storm isn't here to break you, it's here to build you.